movies. We all know about them. Not all of us love them. I am a fan, not too much, but I am a fan of horror movies. I like horror movies, like other movies. Today, I decided I want to break down a horror movie I watched pretty recently. Now, what's so special about this horror movie? I've watched tens of horror movies at this point. Again, not too much of a fan of them. I like them, but kind of introducing myself to the genre. Anyway, today I will be talking about Cannibal Holocaust. It's a movie from 1980. Actually, I think February 1980 it was released. Okay, and this is the first sort of like found footage film. At least that's what people say. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. It sounds pretty cool. Don't give it a shot. I'm telling you, don't give it a shot. It's okay. It's a fine movie. I would not call it a good movie even. Like okay. I don't like. Okay, how can I put this? Look, it's an okay movie, and I'll break it down why it's an okay movie in my opinion, and how it could have been improved, right? So, okay, let me give you an example of an actual good movie that I like. It's something like Martyrs. Martyrs was good. Hereditary was mid, in my opinion, as well. Something like, Kill List was alright. It was also okay. Serbian film is just, no, it's just ew. You know, I've watched these, they're very, not it. Cat, what do you think of horror movies? My cat does not like horror. You can see, yeah, she's so afraid. Anyway, so today we're gonna be discussing Cannibal Holocaust, okay? And let's get right in, right? So the plot of the whole movie. Wait, let's make it. So the plot of the whole movie is you have this like group of explorers who go to the Amazon rainforest to like capture footage of a tribe, a cannibalistic tribe, and they do, but then they go missing, and then another search party, like a militia group sort of with a professor, is sent out to go try to find them or try to find remnants of them. We don't know. And the movie is basically, half the movie is them finding the remains of that explorer group, and the other half is the tapes that the explorers took of the tribe in the general rainforest, and that's that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, okay, let's get right in. But I also don't have a script, by the way. Here, no script, as you can tell, no script. So, let's get right in. But before we start, viewer discretion advised. Do not watch this movie or hear me even describe it if you're squeamish or just don't like gore and or nudity and other stuff. I don't recommend this movie. It's not a good movie. No. So anyway, let's get right in, shall we? Go. So where can I even start with this? So I have this like the militia group going in, and I'm gonna focus mostly on the grisly, gruesome bits, and then in the end I'm gonna talk about my gripes, my personal gripes with the movie, like why the movie is just meh. Anyway, so they go in. The first sort of like scene of is one of them catches like a rat, and then they stab it to death, and then we see like the blood spurting out of the rat, and like okay, it's just animal abuse, great. Fucking hell. Then right after it goes from that, which is bad, right? It's pretty fucking vulgar to just see that. Oh yeah, also we see a dead body, which is like a decayed sort of like just skeleton with like bugs and shit infested. And anyway, that one was fine. But right after the fucking animal thing, we see one of something you would assume to be a tribesperson pulling a woman onto shore, and then violates her with a rock in a sort of ritualistic fashion that creates an effigy out of dirt and like the mud and like little animal bones and sticks and shit, and puts it, you know, in, and then fucking slams her head in with a rock. And that's it, and then he floats her onto the river. We don't know why this is happening. It says that, like, what's it called? Apparently she committed adultery or something. No build-up, just witnessing somebody die. Great. Moving on, they follow this guy back to the village. They meet with the village people. Yada yada. They talk to the village people, and finally they come to an agreement where they what's it called? They like get the tapes because somehow the tapes of the explorers were actually like saved. You know, they weren't like ruined, so they took them back. And while there, they eat a human. Pretty bad, but you know that one was alright. Like the visuals are okay because it's sort of like just shows you organs, and it's obviously faked organs. It's like probably cow organs or something. Disgusting, still disgusting, but you can kind of like trick yourself. It's a very non-believable scenario, right? You won't get hooked on this. Anyway, now the really gruesome bits come in the explorers, like the logs and what they recorded, right? So when you look into the explorers and what they did, basically it starts off with them, nothing really happens in the beginning. Then the first thing is they fish out a turtle, a big turtle out of the water, and proceed to just dismember and disembowel it by breaking its shell, chopping its head off, and I think a leg as well. And then they just pull the organs out. And this was real. This was a real turtle that got really killed for a movie. You do comprehend what I'm saying, right? No reason to do this, right? There is no meaning behind this. They're killing a turtle, what, to get food? Really? Out of a fucking turtle? You couldn't bring some supplies with you? You had to kill a turtle. Whatever. I'll come back to this point later on, right? Then we see sort of like the first act of like violence, I guess, onto like between people, right? Well, for the explorers, I mean, right? And for that, right, the tour guide. Oh, by the way, the group of explorers consists of 4 men and 1 woman. One of the 4 men is a tour guide. So the tour guide gets his like leg bitten by a snake, a poisonous snake, as we're meant to assume. So they chop his leg off. They kill the snake, which was again real. The rat might not have been, by the way, but the snake and the turtle, and I think 2 more animals in this film, were actual deaths. So they kill the snake, they chop this guy's leg off, and then singe it, sort of. They try to, I don't know, I forgot the word for that. Like suture it? No, I don't know. But anyway, they try to like burn the stump of a foot just so it doesn't bleed out, and then it immediately cuts to him being just fucking dead on the floor. That's it, he's just dead. Okay, cool. Cut his leg off. I mean, it makes sense, he's gonna die of poisoning anyway, but he's just dead. They bury him, sort of. They attempt to bury him. And then we move on, right? And then there's a scene where the female explorer gets a spider on her shoulder, and they kill that spider, which is also another real death. So, yeah. And then it gets to where they finally meet with the tribe. So they kind of stumble upon them on their way. And then they shoot one of the tribe's people in the leg, so that they can follow him back to their base or their camp, I guess, sort of. I don't know why they shot him. They could have just followed him, but I mean, I guess to make it slower and easier for them to follow him. So they get to the base, and this is where I have the biggest gripe with this movie, or maybe the second biggest. They get to the camp, they are outnumbered. There are 4 explorers and maybe 25 tribespeople. If not more. There might have been more, there might have been something like 40 tribespeople. I get it. The explorers have guns. They make big sound. They think they're gods, right? We get it. And then in the end of the movie, they finally realize this, right? They realize. Anyway, they get to the camp. The first thing they do, they see a little piggy, like, tied to like a log or a tree or something, and they shoot it point blank in the fucking skull. Why? What is this supposed to fucking demonstrate? It's a real pig as well being killed. I mean, probably they ate it right after, like, still, fucking inhumane. Why would you just shoot a random pig? What are you displaying? Like, if you're trying to display power, shoot the fucking chief. Shoot the chief of the village. It's pretty obvious he's wearing, like, garments and shit, you know? No, they shoot a fucking pig. Okay, great. Then, what's even worse somehow is they come up with the idea, let's herd people, like several people, mostly the women and children as I know this, and maybe some men, I didn't really catch it, into a hut, And then they burn the hut down. Most of the people from the hut escape out of the doorways, and since it's a fucking hut, you can mainly run away from several areas. But some of the people just burn down inside the hut. You can tell later on in the movie, earlier on in the movie, we found like bones and shit, and it was like sort of ambiguous, like, oh, why are there bones here? And then we discovered that they were fucking burned alive. For again, seemingly no reason. Why? Because burning. Anyway, moving on, we see there's like a weird sex scene that happens. It's not really, I don't know if it was... Anyway, one of the female explorer and one of the male explorers who are like dating or something, I think they were in a relationship, are just having sex in front of the entire tribe on sticks and branches. For, again, no... I can't stress this enough, right? Plot's important. Being horrified of a movie, and not just disgust, which passes very quickly, right? Being horrified of a movie needs build-up. You just fucking on branches for no reason is gonna ruin my immersion. Ruin my immersion completely. It's pointless. You just added a scene there to show more nudity for, again, no reason. So anyway, moving onwards, we then see how the kind of sick are treated in this tribe. They pan to like a shot of one of the women in the tribe like lying on a riverbank, coated in bugs and fleas, and her organs, and like she's sickly, right? And they sort of like portray her as this is what happens to the sickly people of the tribe. They like ostracize them and throw them onto like a riverbank to let them die, right? And then literally 5 seconds after that, maybe less even, they immediately pan to a shot of all the women surrounding another woman who's like bound by her arms to like two different trees, like basically like this, right? And she can't move, right? And then they cut out a baby out of her, dig a hole, put the baby in the hole, close it over with dirt, kill the lady with a stone to the head. How am I supposed to feel? Apparently it was some sort of like social, what was it? Social medicine or social healing? That's how they described it. I was like, who's being healed? What? Again, no like explanation or anything given for the events, just people fucking dying on screen, and you're like, alright, cool, great, that's happening. So, that happens. And then, what do we see? What's the fucking next thing? Right. The next thing is the explorers like catch one of the female, like the tribes people, one of them, and they violate her. They take turns violating her, and then yeah, that happens. She doesn't die, but the scene right after that, we see one of the, again, female tribeswomen sort of like staked. Okay, wait, I'm gonna open MS Paint and I'm gonna show you. Show you what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna cut to that. Fuck. Where is it? Okay. Look. Can you see? I wonder. I think it can, right? Okay. This is the log. Yeah, okay, this is the log, and this is the lady. The log's like going through her. Anyway, I don't know if I can show this even. I don't need this. Anyway, we see that we can maybe assume that it's like a punishment for her being raped by the tribe. I don't know. It explains nothing, by the way. Nothing's being explained, like as usual. And then the movie sort of like ends off with what happens again? Right. So the explorers are kind of cornered. They're being surrounded by the tribespeople. Finally, the tribespeople are like, okay, we outnumber probably them like 6-1. We can fucking kill them, right? Especially since they have like poison darts and I don't know, wooden spears and stuff. Anyway, they corner them. They kill one of the dudes. They throw a spear, it like embeds in his chest, and then there's like a 3-minute just full scene of them dismembering him, literally ripping him limb from limb, and you can see his head in a corner, and like they're roasting his chest and I think other limbs as well. And then after that, we see the explorers running away from the tribe, and then the female explorer also gets caught, and then they proceed to violate her again. And then they also dismember her, and again we see like her head alone, and then her body being roasted and stuff. And finally, like the camera, like the dude who's still filming this, also is seen, and then we see the camera fall, and then we see his head being bashed in with some clubs or something. So yeah, that's I just explained pretty much what happened in the entire movie. And now let me explain why this movie doesn't work. As a horror movie, this movie could maybe work. I don't know if it's actually, I don't know exactly what the classification of this movie is, other than it being a sort of like lost footage. Other than that, I don't know like what type of genre this is. But this can't be horror. Unless you're squeamish. Unless you're extremely squeamish, this is not gonna be horror. Like, to me, this is not horror. This was watching people like fake die for an hour and a half, or how much, like 90 something minute runtime of this entire movie. Just watching people, oh, this happened dead, this happened dead, this happened dead, right? Let me explain why this doesn't work. None of this makes sense. There's no explanation for most of the stuff. None, right? There are pointless scenes of animal cruelty, in my opinion, just sprinkled in there to create this sort of gag reflex for you, like, oh, they're killing animals. The scene of the turtle being killed, that was like 5 minutes long. Them just massacring the turtle. Okay, and what else? The nudity, pointless. A lot of pointless nudity happens in this film. You're just there watching. Like there was a nudity scene, right, where the militia group sort of like established this connection with the tribe, and like to show that they respect them, they have to do this like ritual sort of thing, right? And then they're nude, and I'm like, okay, that one like passes, you know, it's fine. Like it's sort of like a premise of respect. But other things like the sex scene and the just, you know, there was another movie where another part where you just see the explorers just being naked. That's it. That's it. And that's just for like 3 or 4 minutes. Why? Who knows? More disturbing or weird. Taboo, you know? So, yeah. Horror movie, in my opinion, not that good. People say that the plot of the movie is sort of too... Okay, so the explorers set out and like made this documentary, or tried to make this documentary, to show how animalistic this tribe was, like the tribe of cannibals who like eat people, right? But this movie sort of is supposed to show how the true cannibals, or the true like evil people, were the explorers, because they did all that like gruesome shit. They burned the people alive, they raped that one woman, and they just documented just the people and the tribe just like dying and all that. So really, that's pretty much it for the plot. But you can get this message across without being this brutal. It would have actually worked better if you focused more on the plot and less on the just sheer brutality. Just have as many scenes of brutality as you want. Make the runtime a bit longer, make it 2 hours, but instead clarify some things. For example, clarify why they're doing this, right? Why they're why that one woman had her child ripped out, right? Or let's say like elaborate why they burned them down in that thatched hut, or why they killed their animals. It just does not work in my opinion. Anyway, I just want to get that off my chest. I watched this movie, and the first thing I thought at the end of it, I was like, I just wasted 90 something minutes of my life on a movie I don't even remember anymore, right? And I had to genuinely, I didn't really watch this movie. I just genuinely had to sit down and start recollecting events. I had to actually look up some of the events, but I had to sit down and think about what the fuck happened in this movie. Like, it wasn't there, you know? And after I was done, like, thinking about this, I'm probably just gonna forget now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this different style of content, I guess. But yeah, see you in the next one. I might do another horror movie related video, not too soon, but we'll see. I don't know. Anyway, see ya!